Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ask Pastor Andre. I'm here with another great question. Question today is: can the enemy block my blessings or interfere with God's plan? That's a great question, and I'll answer it in two parts. Can the enemy block my blessings? The answer is yes. And then the second part of that answer is if you let him. The enemy does not have any power over you. Let me say it again. The enemy does not have any power over you. Jesus gave us power over him and over all the power that he has. That means we have power over whatever scheme, trick, whatever he tries to do in your life, you have power over him. The scripture says, "Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents, scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy." That right there is the answer to your question. The devil, the enemy, cannot interfere or block your blessings unless you let him. Now, the second part of the question is: can the enemy interfere with God's plan? Now, this is a good question because would you say the enemy interfered with God's plan in the life of Job? Was it God's plan to take away Job's family and all his cattle and all that he owned? Was it God's plan for him to get sick, nearly to die? Was that God's plan? Or did the enemy interfere with what God's original plan was? I'll say it this way: God knows what's going to happen. He knows what he's going to allow. So even when it looks like the enemy is interfering, you have to trust and believe that God already has this planned out. See, we've learned through scripture that God can adjust on the fly. God can do things that he may have had a plan to do otherwise. As a matter of fact, I'm reminded of a scripture that says, "It repented God that he created man." And he was literally going to destroy the entire world. He was going to destroy everyone. But it says Noah found grace in the eyes of God. So the plans shifted from what God was going to do. But when you say, can the devil interfere with God's plan? I don't like necessarily the wording because we're assuming that the devil has power to interfere with God's plan. Now, there are times when God may call an audible, but it all is part of his plan because the plan is about the outcome, not the journey. So you have to trust that God has his hand on you, regardless of what comes, regardless of how things play out. At the end of the day, God's plan will prevail. And so you have to just trust that you have power over the enemy. Surely God has power over the enemy. So you are in his hand, and all things are working together for the good of them who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. I pray that this helps you. I may do a full study on this in one of our Feed on the Words because this is a great conversation to have. And I'm challenging you all to think deeper than just getting your question answered. But let's really study and learn about the character of God because God shows us through Old Testament and New Testament how he thinks, what he feels, what he even prioritizes. And so we ought to be studying that word to show ourselves approved. All right, until the next one, God bless.